Hello. I got a new laptop because my old laptop broke, and so now I'm trying to record this video on the new laptop, and I couldn't get it to work at all. And it finally just suddenly worked. Like it was hours ago that I tried, and then I walked away and did a bunch of other stuff, and I just came back to it, and it suddenly worked, and I wasn't expecting it to work, and now I'm flustered. I don't remember what I was going to say. I don't remember what I was going to talk about. That hurt. I've been away. I've been away because, well, a whole bunch of things. I took kind of an unexpected social media break. I I got a summer cold. The kids had gotten it, and I thought I had escaped it because I kind of had some of the symptoms and all, but it never got awful, and I thought I had fought it off. And then there was this night where I was up with my young one who has chronic pain, and somewhere around 3 in the morning, my body just said, "Oh no, you're done. That's it. Totally done." That knocked me out for a little while, and I had just violent sneezing with it, the violent sneezing fits that then made my whiplash, which never fully recovered from when I sustained the concussion back in December. So whiplash acted up and was bothering me some, but not awfully. And then my older boys had off from work for a week and a half, and we were doing a bunch of work around the house. I don't know if you can hear that. That's my email coming in, which I didn't think of about when I started recording this. Anyhow, they were off for about a week and a half, and we started some major projects around the house, which they are mostly doing, but I don't know, there was a lot of planning and a lot of stuff like that involved. And then, so I was really busy with that and some really exciting stuff, but it's going to take a while. A lot of stuff that's really going to take a while. And then after that, the whiplash got really, really, really bad. I was trying to I felt like I'd lost a lot of muscle tone because of the anemia, being exhausted, and then being sick right on top of that. And I was trying to get back to being active, went for a walk with Serafina. She got a really bad blister. Her ankle started bleeding. She was crying. It was awful. I ended up carrying her the whole rest of the way home. I don't know, probably close to a mile maybe on my back uphill. And yeah, that wasn't a good plan. My body work guys like, oh, if there was a barbell that weighed like 44 pounds, would you be going and picking it up and lugging it around? And I said, is the barbell crying? You know, there's only so much you can do. Anyhow, I was sore after that, but I thought I was somewhat okay. And then I guess 2 or 3 days later, I woke up and I couldn't move. I could only turn my head about maybe an inch to each direction, and even that really hurt. It was really bad. And so I was not in good shape for a while there. I am still sore. I'm still quite sore, and I still don't have full range of motion back, but look, I can move, decently. It's not comfortable, but I'm trying really hard to relax and not tense up around that, because I know that makes it worse. Trying really hard to just kind of be with it and let it hurt when it hurts and move through it. But as I said, I saw my bodywork guy who does structural therapy, which the best way I can describe it, at least as he does it, is heart yoga or yoga. I got distracted and started saying the wrong words. Not yoga, part massage and part chiropractic and part physical therapy. So I'll kind of massage the muscles before he tries to put everything back into place. And then at the end, give me a bunch of stretching and exercises to do at home. So yeah, I guess that's the best way I can describe it. But it really was like an hour of super, super intense. Somebody trying to put my body back in order when it was in really bad shape. It's intense. But obviously it helped a lot, and I'm doing better, and I'll have another appointment in a couple of days, and maybe another after that, and hopefully get back on track. Sorry that I'm distracted. I'm distracted because I'm uncomfortable, but also this is a whole new thing, and there's kind of I can see myself, which I can't with my camera, but there's also all these things on the screen that I'm not used to, and I keep looking at them, getting distracted. So this is a different way of recording. I don't know. I'll see how it goes. On the plus side, I can see myself, and I think that it adjusts focus. Look at that. When I move things in and out, which my camera doesn't do. On the other hand, I look kind of gray, and the quality looks really bad, at least from what I'm seeing here. Plus and minus. You know, take what we get. Anyhow, that's where I've been. Most of it was not particularly nice except for the projects, but it was also kind of nice to walk away from social media for a bit, just kind of, I don't know, think my own thoughts and be where I needed to be and not be worried about anything beyond that. Have some quiet, I guess. I've been really upset. I've been really upset because I just can't seem to get back on track health-wise. I'm sorry, I'm fidgeting. I do that when I'm uncomfortable. Distracts me from the pain. I can't seem to get back on track health-wise, and I'm just really frustrated about it, that I just keep going from one thing to the next, and the original things don't end up healing properly or fully, and then something else starts, and it's just like a kick in the teeth, and I'm really missing my old life. I'm missing the way things used to be when I had the energy to do things that I want to do, and when I could do things that I want to do, when I could read and sew and have the energy to cook good meals and get out and play with the kids and do big projects with them and do big homeschooling projects and all of that stuff, and just feel alive instead of constantly feeling buried under. So I've been really frustrated with that and kind of feeling blue, and just feeling stuck Yeah. So yeah, and not helped by I'm not allowed to knit this week. Not allowed to knit. I was, yeah. Because it's a neck thing and because it's such a repetitive thing that obviously kind of has some long-term strain for me. Not supposed to knit this week. So what am I supposed to do with that? It was like the one thing I had left. That was the one thing I could do. Not taking it with grace. I kind of am and I kind of am not. I'm kidding more than not. But that's the way it is. So it's a week. We'll reassess my next appointment and see where I'm at. I resisted the temptation to ask if it was okay to crochet instead, because I figured that was kind of against the spirit of what he was saying, if not the letter of what he was saying. Alright, trying again. Reset. I have this quote taped to my fridge, this Charlotte Mason quote, and I don't know the whole thing by heart. I will put it in the blog post, though I've probably already put it in blog posts before, I know, because I come back to it often. But it basically, the gist is, you know, if you're wanting things you're not supposed to have, if you're not wanting things you're not going to get, if you're wanting things they can't be, that aren't realistic, change your thoughts. Change your thoughts. Change my thoughts. Try again. I'm trying. I'm trying. I am throwing myself into my garden. I can't do much out there right now because of my neck, but go out and I can sit and I can smell the flowers and try to change my thoughts when I think about the weeds and all the things I want to do that I can't. But I can enjoy the flowers. And I think things got rearranged. I put out things to show you when I first set up, but then I couldn't get it to work and everything got moved. This I just wanted to show you. This was on my desk, which I think is going to come out backwards, but you get the idea. From Mari Rose. Cross stitch. I don't know why she did it, but she just did, and she left it for me, and she says it's not done. She doesn't know what else she's going to add to it or what she's going to make it into, but it's been sitting on my desk for a little bit now. I just thought that was sweet. This book, How to Be Sick. I don't know. I guess this is going to be backwards for you when you view it. Didn't even think about that. How to Be Sick by Tony Bernard. This was a gift from my sister years ago. I don't even remember what I was knocked out with at the time. But how lovely. I just have to show you this. How lovely is this? So it's a Buddhist-inspired guide for the chronically ill and their caregivers. And what she did is she didn't know how sick I was at the time and what I would be able to handle. So she went through the whole book and she put tabs on important passages and then color-coded, highlighted them. So So if I didn't have the energy, I could just go, turn to the tab, and read the highlighted part, and just have a little bit of encouragement. I'm trying not to cry. Yeah, it's kind of one of my treasured possessions, because how lovely is that, right? How much love is in that? And I'm thinking right now, as I'm starting to try to read tiny bits again, that maybe that's where I need to start, with her little highlighted parts, since I'm not ready for a whole book. And it's really nice to think that I have that there. So, knitting updates from when I was allowed to knit. I wasn't knitting that much anyway. I was doing some other things, but I'll talk about that another time. I finished that knitted blouse, the one that I still can't remember the name of. But finished is not the right word. I finished knitting it. I've not worked in the ends or blocked it. And I thought about it earlier, and I believe that is true for 5 projects right now that I finished knitting and haven't finished working in the ends or blocking and done the finishing work on. 6 if you count socks separately instead of as a pair. I'm being a wimp about it. I'm being a wimp about it because I know that when I work in the, I don't like working ends to begin with. Who does? Why would you like that? I like that it's done afterwards, but I don't like the actual act of working in ends. And I know that right now it's going to give me a headache to work in the ends, so I've just been avoiding it and doing the lovely, soothing, pleasant, therapeutic knitting instead. It's not ideal, in part because that blouse, for example, is a summer blouse. It's sleeveless and at the end of July. I'd like to wear it this year. So funny things about the blouse. I love the lace pattern. I love it in theory. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna love it on. I think I should have gone up a size. Or not gained so much weight while knitting it. Or am better about gauge, which is actually, I think, probably the problem, because I'm not good about gauge. I did kind of check it in my lazy sort of way that I check gauge for all of things that usually just works out all right for me. I think it'll be okay with blocking. Won't know till I block it. We might never know. Guess we'll see. Yeah, but otherwise it's done. Interesting patterns. Some things were strange about it. I'm not sure if I did some things right, because there were some things in the pattern that weren't super duper clear that maybe I'll talk about when I show you the finished blouse. But I ended up with leftover yarn. This, but also reaching hurts. This. And I got 3 to begin with, and I have a whole one and a good section of another one left. I don't know why. But now I've got yarn. Maybe some socks, something like that. Don't love knitting socks, don't tell them. They'll kick me out of the Knitters Club. I don't love knitting socks. If everybody else loves knitting socks, you're supposed to love knitting socks. I don't super love the tiny circles to begin with. the actual act of knitting them, it's okay, but I'd rather like bigger. But then once they're made, you put all that work into them and they just get holes in them. I find that frustrating. Toddler socks are okay. Baby socks are okay because I find those don't get holes in them. But everything else gets holes in them really quickly. And then you just have more work because you have to mend them. I don't love making socks. I do it anyway, but I don't love it. And one of the things I have not finished, but finished knitting, but not worked in right now, is a pair of socks that I should really finish up. But wool socks in July. Who needs it? I did pull apart that sweater I showed you last time. I can't hold all the balls at once. So, and here, moth protection. These are perfect, by the way. Ziploc bags for keeping out moths. Provided you don't have mice that chew through the bags, which I've had happen. Live in the country. So I undid that sweater that I showed you the last time I showed you yarn stuff. And this is what I got. I got rid of all the red because they were too tiny to do anything with. They were teeny tiny lengths, just a stripe's worth. And that should be enough to do something. I haven't decided what yet, but enough to do something. Another unfinished project, but not knitting. Don't know how well you can see this. Pockets are poking out. I sewed a dress for Mari Rose. I don't even know when it was. It was back early spring. I'm not sure if you can make out the pattern on that or not. Kind of white berries, sprigs of white berries. So it came together extremely quickly. It's an Oliver and S playtime dress, but I modified it a whole bunch. Don't remember all of the ways. Well, for one thing, I left off the sleeves and just did it. It has a little cap sleeve because the actual pattern has a drop sleeve, so the seam for the sleeve's a little lower. It's not right up at the shoulder. It's a little off the shoulder. So that when you leave off the sleeve, you get a little cap sleeve, which I thought would be really cute. I turned it around. I adjusted it so that so it buttons up the front because at 10 she's not super keen on having to have somebody help her get dressed. So I just adjusted the neckline too, so it's lower in the front and higher in the back, even with that in the front. I don't remember what else. There might have been something with the length, and there might have been something with the width of the skirt. I don't remember. But nothing important, but it came together so super fast, just so super fast. Even with me going really slow right now. But it needs buttons and buttonholes. So it's sat there ever since. Now it's the end of July, and how much longer is she going to need a sleeveless dress? Again, it's one of those things that's going to be hard to do and that I don't like doing to begin with. And she unexpectedly got a bunch of hand-me-downs from somebody. So it was no longer like she desperately needed it. When I started it, she desperately needed it. And now it's kind of just like, it'd be nice if she had it. And if I were less silly, I don't know if it's smart or not, but I would just put snaps down the front. Better yet, I'd have Elijah put snaps down the front, which is what I do most of the time. I don't know how he got elected as the snap setter in the house, but he did. And that would be the way to fix it, and then it would be wearable right away. But I want snaps down the front. That doesn't look right. This is what should go down the front, my coconut hull buttons. That's what looks right. That's what's right for the dress. Look. Here. That's what's right. Not snaps. Meanwhile, it's just sitting there. Should be a huge waste if I don't actually finish it and it doesn't sit for next year or whenever it gets done. So I have to either get to it or give up and put snaps on it. We'll see what happens. Another sewing project. I have not sewn anything since Easter when I made that dress. I actually sewed this to this point before that dress. So those are the 3 things that I've sewn this year. And I haven't touched the sewing machine since then. My studio's a mess, absolute mess, overwhelming. The whole house is a mess. It's really overwhelming. Keep getting sick, can't get on top of it. Then we had all these disasters happen. The roof was leaking, and just all kinds of things. And I had to empty out the eaves in the attic into the main living space because the roof was leaking and there needed to be repairs. And then I discovered a massive clothing moth problem. It was just awful and meant I have to go through every single box in the attic and wash every single thing in every single box. And then I would just keep getting sick and keep having problems. And so there's just stuff everywhere. There's boxes everywhere. I hate it. Oh, I hate it. I hate for a living space to be cluttered and chaos, and it feels awful. It feels awful, and that's part of my frustration. I can't get on top of things. I can't fix things. I can't make things beautiful. I can't do the things that make me feel better when I'm not feeling well. Just really feeling rotten and stuck. But that's the way it is. I'm trying. Changing my thoughts. No, it doesn't seem like it. I am. Anyhow, not sewing, but still thinking about sewing, and I found the cutest pattern. I don't know how in focus that is. At Goodwill. It was so sweet. I would so love to make something from this on, I think middle one, but maybe with the Peter Pan color. Maybe both colors, I don't know. But I just really think that's absolutely adorable. Older pattern, and it's a size 6, so I felt like that would be perfect for Serafina for this winter if I ever get to it. I'm trying to see if there's a year on it. I would doubt it's still in print. Anyway, it's here. Size 6 might fit her next year too, so I could try to size up if I don't get to it. I have a dress for me cut out too, and I have a pattern for a shirt for me put together. I did those 2 things this year, but never keep playing with my hair because I can see myself. It's ridiculous. Never did anything with either one of them. We'll see if I get to them and when I get to them. And another one on that is this. Oh, I should have written down what it was. I'm sorry I didn't. I was making a sweater for Serafina when I hit my head. Not at the moment I hit my head. The time time period. And it's this. It's hard to tell. Oh, it's hard to reach and it's hard to tell how to hold it so that you can best see it. Can you see the cabling, I wonder? Yeah, so it was this really intricately cabled sweater. Leaning forward hurts. Sorry. This is a bummer. I'm a bummer today. So I finished the front, and I really want to be able to show it to you, but I don't want to lean forward again. I finished the front, and I finished the back, and I finished this much of the first sleeve. And that's as far as I got when I was injured. And of course, it's really complicated and requires reading charts, which you can't really do with any kind of ease right now. I'm really worried if I don't get it done soon that it's not going to fit because it was already sizing. I was already kind of regretting not sizing up more. And it was supposed to be done in the spring. It was supposed to be her spring sweater. And now I'm thinking ahead to like autumn and winter, and I'm really worried it's going to be too small. And then if I don't get to it by then, it'll be out of luck with it. And I would really hate that because I put so much work into this. It means so much work. I try and stand up and show it to you because maybe that won't hurt so much. Yeah, I don't think the camera's picking it up very well. I can't tell. But yeah. So that's that. So I don't know what to do about it. I would just really like to be me, normal me, and be able to pick it up and finish it. That's what I'd really like. And that's not an option. So I don't know anyone else who can finish it. That's not an option. Maybe I can work on it a tiny bit at a time, a row a day or something like that when I'm allowed to knit again. I don't know. I'm just gonna have to wait and see what happens. Maybe experiment and try and see what happens. So other than that, my no-frills cardigan is coming along. It's long. It's supposed to be really long, like just above the knee or so. And I like that much, maybe that much, past the opening to the pocket, so where you would put your hand in if your arms were straight down in the body. So almost on the body. And then I'll just be sleeves. And I think when it's done, I might knit a belt to go with it, so I can sometimes wear it tied, wrapped and tied. I think that would be nice to have that option, because it doesn't have any closure. It doesn't have buttons or anything, which I kind of like in some ways, but I get really cold. And I think it would be nice to also have the option of tying it closed. So that's what I'm thinking I'm probably going to do with it. And I should have plenty of yarn, so that shouldn't be a problem. And I'm just thinking about other projects for the future. And again, frustrated, trying to change my thoughts. I was supposed to make Elijah, all the kids wear the stuff that I make them. I don't make things that don't get worn. They all wear all the stuff that I make them. Some more and some less. But Elijah will wear my hand knits every single cold day of the year, layered on top of each other. He gets cold easily like me, and he really likes hand knit style. He has a very unique for someone of his age style, which I love. And it's yeah. So I made him a sweater vest a few years ago, and it was homeschool families out there or documentary geeks like us. If you know the farm series from BBC with Ruth and Peter and Alex and Tom for some of them. So if you know Wartime Farm, which was one of them, we love those shows so much, it's ridiculous. I was actually reading Alex's book, Craft, I think it's called, I believe it's called, at the time when I was injured as well, and haven't been able to finish it because I can't read. Yeah, we're ridiculous about them, the whole family. And so for his birthday, I had found somebody, I'm remembering her name right, Susan Crawford, I think, designed. Alex wears a sweater vest all through Wartime Farm, this intricate Fair Isle sweater vest, and somebody wrote the design for it. And I found that and I showed it to Elijah, just kind of like jokingly, like, look what somebody did. And he said, oh, you got to make that for me. And he sat with the yarn catalog and matched the colors to the one that Alex was wearing and picked out the yarn colors. And I made it for him for his birthday. And I guess it was his 14th birthday, I think. And he wore it for years. He wore it for 2 years. And only stopped wearing it actually when friends started making fun of him for wearing like a belly shirt because it was, it was getting too short. And I bought the yarn to make him a new Fair Isle vest, a different pattern. I picked out the pattern, I picked out the yarn, I gave it to him as a birthday gift for his 16th birthday. He's now 17 and a couple months. It was right after I had gotten the first concussion and I still wasn't doing major complicated knitting. And I tried a little bit. There was problems with the sizing. I kind of just never got off the ground with it. And I kept thinking, well, in a few months I'll get to it and it'll be okay. And I never did. And then I got the second concussion. And so it's just been sitting there for over a year now. And he's really missing having a sweater vest. And it feels like so, I don't know. It's really hard for me to be like, my kid, my 17-year-old son, desperately wants a sweater vest that his mom made. And I can't do that? Like, that's... So, one of the things I'm thinking is maybe I keep that yarn and set it aside until I'm better for that pattern. Maybe he'll grow some and the sizing will work itself out. Because I remember that was part of the problem, was that he's very slender and muscular, and likes things to be more fitted, and the pattern was really oversized. He liked the design, but it was really oversized and it would have required a lot of fiddling. So maybe I put that aside, and make him a really basic sweater vest, just so he has something that I can do right now, and then he has something, and it'll keep him warm, and it'll be a project for me. So that's what I'm thinking about, and I don't know if that's what I'm gonna do, but that's what I'm thinking about with that. And I'm thinking Mari Rose could use a cardigan. I made her one several years ago, and I think it's probably getting small or going to be too small soon. It was good. It was really nice and stretchy and lasted a long time, but she's probably going to need something soon, so that's something I'm starting to think about and look at. I watched Mary Poppins Returns with the kids last week, and there was one that the little girl wore a sweater that the little girl wore that kind of had my eye. That maybe I'd do something in that color, something similar to that. So then the last project that I've been thinking about, since I've been ill, I've been mostly knitting for myself. Oh, although another of the finished things that I haven't worked the ends in on yet is Serafina's shawl. I did do that. I did fix crochet. It needs the ends worked in and to be blocked, and tassels. It's getting tassels. So it's almost done. But I've mostly been knitting for myself because I needed really basic stuff. The kids like fairly complicated stuff, and I like complicated stuff for me too, but was really needing some basics and didn't mind. Just like long stretches of stocking that were what made sense for me right now. Whereas they might want fancy cables or Fair Isle or something that was out of my depth at the moment. But I'm missing that act of planning and following through with making the things that my kids need to be warm in the winter. That's kind of just such a deep ritual for me and for our family. And I'm feeling out of sorts without it. So, and I feel like I'm ready to at least start thinking about these things again. And so that's what I've been doing, as you can probably tell. And then the other project that I'm really bummed about is I had this idea that I wanted to make Ian for his 20th birthday, which will be in January. I wanted to make him a traditional, like, Irish cabled sweater for my boy that he teaches and performs Irish dance, loves Irish music, and yeah, I really wanted to do that for his 20th birthday, and there's just no way that is happening. There's no way that I am producing a men's size large cabled sweater, intricately cabled sweater right now, and it's just not happening. Certainly not between the end of July and the beginning of January. So, best laid plans of mice and men. I have to let it go. I'm not good at letting my own plans go. Really, really super flexible about life when life goes crazy, because you have to be, and about other people needing things or things falling apart or whatever. But when I get a plan in my head and then I have to shift it or let go, not good at that. Not good at all. Really hard. Really hard for me. Nevertheless, really no choice in the matter. So guess what? Let it go. Though I did just have the thought recently that maybe I'll do a more basic sweater for him, and maybe that's possible for his birthday. And maybe something with a little bit of cabling, like at the yoke or something. And then the rest really simple. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to hit up Ravelry and look and see what I come up with. Okay, well, I have blathered on for long enough and bored the pants off of everyone, I'm sure. And it turns out that, one of the benefits of this is that it doesn't shut off like my camera does. But one of the drawbacks is that that doesn't, you know, remind me that I should probably stop talking. So I am going to go. I'm going to make dinner for my kids, and I will be back here sometime. And hopefully I'll have some finished projects to show you. And I can't wait to show you the changes in my garden. There's been a lot. There's been building projects. And the other big project is we are painting our house, which is huge. And when I say we, I mean I am obsessing over colors, and Ian and Elijah are painting our house. They work as house painters in the summer, so they actually know what they're doing. But choosing paint colors is crazy for an exterior because interiors, their colors are darker and more intense than you would expect, but exterior, they go bright and light and washed out, and really nervous about it. I picked the colors, and I really, really, really hope that it'll be what I'm hoping it'll be, which is classic and charming and just very much us, which the exterior of the house is not right now. It's very much the old owners. And it's also very much falling apart. Yeah, it's very much falling apart, which is why we're painting the house. I'm going to stop talking because I could say so much more. I'm going on another tangent. Going. Goodbye. Have a lovely week, and I will talk to you soon.